Kami nga, every time, madalas kami na nagpo-food panda na lang, di ba? Medyo mahirap before, nung hindi pa uso ang food panda, but now, it brought us convenience na hindi na ako mumumblema. What we have to eat for dinner because I came from work, di ba? Hindi na ako mumumblema. So, bibigyan ko na lang yung anak ko ng pera, naka-Gcash sa Gcash, and then naka-connect na naman yung Gcash sa food panda. So, he can buy whatever he wants, kung ano man yun. Hindi na ako problema. So, yun yung modernization na tinatawag natin, di ba? And another example, siguro is people now can communicate regardless of the physical location. Yun yung maganda, or good thing about digital transformation or technology. I can connect for free. Kasi dati ang tagal, ang hirap, ang mahal magtumawag internationally. So, ibig sabihin, parang dati 60 per minute pagtatawag ko sa kapatid ko who is nasa abroad. So, hindi ko na lang siya tatawagan because it cost a lot. But now, we have sa Facebook, meron din tayong FaceTime. So, may Viber, napakadali. Hindi ba? So, yun yung tinatawag nating modernization and digitization. It will continue. It will continue to improve. Iba kaya ngayon, dati, paliit yung mga cellphones, paliit yung mga laptops. Ngayon naman, bumabalik na naman yung mga malalaki because basically, mas gusto natin na mas maganda yung ating visual na tinitingnan. So, that's why I stated there that there are a lot of opportunities for growth. Lahat ng system i-improve. Siguro, parang I remember dining in one of the restaurants dyan sa San Pablo, hindi ko lang alam kung saan siya specifically. Nagulat din ako kasi medyo bago pa mag-pandemic, naka-app na sila. So, bibigyan ka na lang ng tablet, tapos mag-order ka, and then, lalapit na lang sa si waiter, dala na yung order. Diba? Kasi usually, nakikita lang natin yung sa Japan, na pipindot-pindot ka lang. Meron na rin pala dito sa Pilipinas noong 2020. So, it's being improved. Okay? So, next is the technology adoption. Actually, lahat naman tayo familiar with the different technologies. I know, lalo na itong mga millennials natin na tinatawag. So, this technology helps us create a competitive advantage. Mas maganda kasi ngayon na may online ordering na yung mga restaurants. Medyo talo ka pag wala kang online ordering. Kahit nga yung Tapsilugan, malapit sa may bahay namin, naka-online ordering na or included na sa Food Panda. Di ba? It creates a competitive advantage. Mas meron tayong wider reach. And then, this application is an example of a tool to get the job done. Mas malaki yung reach mo, mas mapapakita mo yung menu mo if you have an application. And what's important here is you choose the right tool. Ano ba yung bagay? Meron mga applications tayong naka-web-based. Ibig sabihin, naka-browser. Gagamit lang tayo ng Chrome para ma-access siya. Meron naman mga applications na available sa lahat ng platforms. Pwede sa web-based, pwede sa app, pwede sa mobile. So you choose the right tool. Ano yung bagay sa'yo? Ano yung bagay sa negosyo mo? Ano yung bagay sa possible mong i-put up? Okay? So gusto ko lang sabihin dito na technology is just a tool. And we have to choose the right tool. And it's still people, tayong mga magiging empleyado, ang makakapag-optimize ng use ng technology. Okay? So next, the next one is the data analytics. So siguro kung may subject kayo na database and analytics, data is a thread that carries digital transformation. Later, i-discuss ko thoroughly kung ano yung analytics. Yung sabi nga nila, data is the new oil. Ginagamit natin yung data for strategy ng isang negosyo. Ginagamit natin ang data para makapag-come up with better decisions. Like this one is an example. If you will notice sa mga grocery, ano ba yung mga nilalagay nila sa harap? Usually, yung mga nilalagay nila sa harap, ito yung mga mabenta or mostly purchased. How do they know? It's through data and through the system. May mga POS sila na ginagamit. Ito yung kung saan tayo nagbabayad, may cashier, yan, point of sales or yung POS, doon nila nasa-summarize daily. Sa dami ng sabon, Ariel, Kala, Surf, Tide, alin dito yung pinakamabenta? So makikita natin yung sa system, therefore, kung alin yung mga pinakamabenta, that's what we purchase more. Tapos yung mga hindi mabenta, pwede tayo makapag-strategize, baka nakatago, kaya hindi natin mabenta. So that's why pwede nating ilabas yan. And that's also a basis of our strategy. Also, ginagamit din natin ng analytics, usually sa Twitter, ano ba yung trending, di ba? Makikita natin doon. Minsan nagbo-browse ako ng Rappler, there's a Menti sentiment meter doon. So ano ba ibig sabihin noon? How do you feel about a certain topic? Natalo si Pacquiao, I'm sad. So, i-associate siya na maraming nalungkot nung natalo si Pacquiao sa presidency. So, may mga ganong bagay, di ba? So, ginagamit ang analytics basically to strategize, basically to come up with good decisions. So, nowadays, napaka-importante ng data and analytics sa mga businesses or sa companies in making decisions. Perhaps you've heard, meron tayong descriptive analytics, meron tayong predictive analytics, meron tayong prescriptive analytics. So when we say predictive, ginagamit natin ang data para makapag-predict gaano karami ang itataas ng COVID cases after the election period. So that's predictive, base yun sa mga taong lumabas. Prescriptive, so magpe-prescribe tayo. Dahil ganito ang projection natin, pwede tayong magtaas ng alert level based sa gathered data natin. So that's how data is being used by organizations, also sa research, also sa school, yung mga projection nila ng number of enrollees versus sa number of rooms, and also consideration sa number of teachers to be hired. Ganun ka-importante ang data and analytics. And if you were able to read nung mataas ang case ng dengue, in-apply ang data and analytics para mapababa ang case ng dengue. Tiningnan nila saan maraming nagkaka-case ng dengue, ano ang nasa palibot niya, what time lumalabas sa mga bata. So na pag-analyze nila na yung open waters doon malapit sa school at yung mga bata naglalaro tuwing hapon, kaya tumataas yung number or cases of dengue. So they strategize, they made adjustments. Nilinis nila, hindi nila pinalabas yung mga bata ng ganong oras dahil may time na kumakagat yung lamok and causes dengue. So yun yung application ng analytics. Napaka-big impact niya. Usually ginagamit ng mga higher ups for decision making. Okay? So next po, those are the 5 blocks of digital transformation. Just to summarize, ano po, gusto ko lang i-point out dito that technology, innovations, those are just tools. People pa rin ang heart ng ating digital transformation. And that is kailangan ma-change ang mindset ng tao, and they should be ready enough to embrace the digital transformation, and they should have an innovative mind para ma-improve natin yung ating mga processes. Okay? So basically, that's how digital transformation works with the combination of these digital blocks. So let's move forward to the digital transformation technology. So if you have questions, you can use the chat box. So later siguro I'll be happy to answer all those questions. Next slide, please, sir. So ano-ano ba yung mga digital transformation technologies? I think you are very familiar with this. So mobile, lahat naman tayo, mostly meron na tayong mobile. Natutuwa nga ako sa mga food panda at saka sa Grab. Kahit nakabike sila, talagang investment na yan ng telepono, magagamit mo siya. Totoo naman yung gamitin mo ang cellphone mo para kumita. Di ba? So, with the different applications, pwede na natin gamitin sa mga available na mobile ngayon. And of course, yung mga applications naman natin, meron yung mga system requirements. So, you just have to check. Okay? Another is the cloud. So, we simply put that cloud computing is the delivery of computing services. Meron tayong mga servers online. Meron tayong online storage. Ang mga database natin nasa cloud din. Also, all the programs, all the systems That's why, kahit nasaan tayo, maa-access natin yung mga information that we need. Halimbawa, magbabayad ako mag-check ako ng insurance ko, or magbabayad ako, or may i-claim ako. Kahit nasa Batangas ako, and yet, ang mga records ko, doon ako nag-apply sa Butuan, it's possible, okay, with the cloud. So basically, this cloud computing technology is one that underpins all digital business models, and it's no exaggeration to tell or to say that the cloud-enabled business, talagang yan yung nakakapag-move sa business natin. Of course, with internet and other applications. Okay? Next one is the IoT, or the Internet of Things. So simply, the IoT technology collects source data from physical world and converts it into useful information for the company or for an organization. Siguro yung mga smart homes. Ang pinaka-simpleng examples niya, yung ating mga Fitbit, kung meron kayong mga Fitbit, sometime na uso yun, no? Pedometer ninyo, nasa cellphone ninyo, and then it measures or it counts kung ilan na yung steps ninyo, calories na nababurn ninyo, and so on. So, simply, napaka-useful ng information na nakukuha natin with the physical world and the system that we use, okay? Basically, it helps people live and work smarter, and nagkakaroon tayo ng control over the operations within the company and our lives as well, okay? The other one is robotics. Familiar naman kayo sa robotics. We have digital robots. We have digital workers, or yung tinatawag nating robotic press automation, or RPA. So ito yung set of tools, physical tools designed to streamline and improve areas of business that can be bogged down with repetitive, time-consuming tasks to tie up with valuable human resource. Marami tayong makikita nito sa mga automotive industry. Yung mga bumubuo ng gulong, nag-assemble ng sasakyan, more on robotics, not necessarily mukhang si R2-D2 or si C3PO or kung sino mang robot yan. Sa iRobot, napakadami. Hindi naman lang gano'n ang itsura ng mga robotics, but simply it's a machine that does human jobs na medyo delikado. Diba? In fact, sa army, ginagamit nila yan, yung robots to diffuse bombs. Kasi pag tao ang pinag-diffuse mo ng bomb, there's a possibility of death. If it is just a robot, diba? Wala naman tayong masasayang na buhay. So, those that are quite dangerous, pwede nating asa din or i-deploy ang mga robots. And lastly, one of the best digital transformation technologies, the artificial intelligence. Napaka-vague or napaka-wide ng scope ng AI, but basically, this is the art of making machines smart. Kinakapture niya yung intelligence ng tao. And we teach machines to do human-like tasks. Hindi ba? Inilipat natin sa kanila yung idea or capacity ng isang tao through programming, through design. So, nakarely yon sa ating mga ICT graduates o mga TVL graduates natin. I remember one time doon sa aming mga thesis, talagang AI ang pinapagawa sa amin. So, yung mga robotic arms that can help yung mga nagkaroon ng yung mga stroke na persons. So, yun yung mga isa sa mga dinesign doon. And napakaraming applications ng AI sa medicine, sa iba-ibang field, sa automotive industry. So, with mamayang examples, marami pa tayo. Yung mga chatbots, part din yan ng AI. I'll be discussing that as well. Okay? Next po, sir. So, for the digital transformation trends, yan. Ano ba yung mga trends ngayon? Next, please. So, meron tayong 8 trends relative to the digital transformation. So, the first one, next please, is the customer data platform. This image says it all. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? When we say platform, nandun na ang expectations ngayon ng customer relative to what I have discussed about customer engagement is sa isang platform, nandun na lahat ng kailangan mo. And you have the capacity to reach yung mga clients mo, yung clientels mo, or yung binilahan mo via different platforms. Like pwede mong i-mobile, pwede mong i-email, pwede mong sulatan, and so on. So nandun na, all in one. And yun yung mga hinahanap ngayon ng mga customers. Di ba, hindi na yung iba-iba pa yung bubuksan mo para ma-reach mo yung isang kumpanya or yung isang client mo. Nandiyan na sa'yo, provided na sa'yo everything. And also, it provides an analysis of kung ano yung mga activities mo for that specific month or kung saan man. Actually, kasama din dito yung mga platforms ng school. Like what we had in the previous university where I worked with, mag-enroll ka pa lang ng college, magka-create ka na ng account kasi mag-exam ka online. And then you will see the results online. And then, nandun na yung mga pwede mong, if you pass, meron ka nang, pwede ka na mag-pre-enrollment. And if approved siya, pwede ka na mag-proceed with the enrollment. And then payment can be done online. If you are not capable of paying online via different payment apps, pwede ka din kumuha ng online na appointment for you to visit the cashier physically, and then once payment is made, so makikita mo doon na enrolled ka na, and then it's linked to the Google Classroom, and then you can also see the grades and so on, hanggang sa makagraduate ka. So, yun yung ibig sabihin nun, all in one, nandun na, hindi ka na aalis ng isang platform to earn the services or para makomplete mo yung proseso sa isang paaralan. So, yun yung example. So, these are the leading examples. Although ito ay mga international, so meron tayong SAP, sa Microsoft 365, and so on. So, you can browse, pwede nyo siyang i-access para makita yung mga applications niya. Okay, next. The next trend is cybersecurity. Let me just inform everyone that every Thursday, meron pong cybersecurity talk for students ang Department of Information and Communications Technology. I think Laguna had its take last Thursday, but pwede po kami mag-send ng invite. Meron pa pong 2 Thursdays to go. And what I would like to say here is that with all the information, with all our access online, kailangan nating ma-strengthen ang security. Diba? Ano bang ibig sabihin yan? We have to be aware of the threats. Therefore, mapaghandaan natin yung mga possible attacks. So, it's not just about passwords. So, usually, kaya nga ngayon may mga OTP na with all the scams online. So, kailangan talaga may mga one-time password, may mga face recognition, may mga biometrics tayo para ma-strengthen natin ang security ng mga systems. Ma-block natin yung mga hackers na yan, yung mga nag-i-infiltrate na yan ng mga systems. So ako, I remember sa aking BDO, nagkaroon ako ng problema. Nalock yung account ko, and then nag-search ako sa Facebook, parang may BDO help. Tapos nag-message ako because I felt desperate that time. And then sinabi niya, nung BDO, akala ko chatbot siya, is ito, may magsasend sa akin, I'll provide the OTP and so on. So, na-realize ko, ay, ano pala to, scam. So, wag agad tayong basta-basta magtitiwala sa mga ganon. Ang daming scam, ang daming maling information din na nagsispread online. So, we have to be cybersecurity aware, we have to be informed, and dapat alam natin what to do with those. Pwede nating ireklamo yan. Meron pong services din si DICT, regarding po sa mga ganyang issues, sa mga hacking. And actually, meron nga pong isang school who approached us na nahack talaga yung database nila ng mga estudyante. So, ni-refer din po namin yon sa cybersecurity division po namin. So, kailangan talaga alam mo yung in and outs ng system and cybersecurity na rin. Okay? Next. The next one is the cloud. As mentioned, sabi ko kanina, it's a catalyst for digital transformation. So for organizations, dapat yung structure nila is ready for the cloud. Usually, meron po itong mga kaakibat na payments na kailangan ding i-consider ng organization. So aside from structure, yung financial implications din kailangan nating aralin. But basically, sabi ko nga, cloud enables business. So it enables us to work wherever we are, whenever, so in real time. And then may mga support tayo dyan, may mga backup tayo. And that's why it's considered as a catalyst for digital transformation. Next, please. Ito po yung susunod. This is artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things combined. These are the practical enablers of digital transformation. Napakalaking application ng AI and IoT because it promotes automation. Ibig sabihin, when everything is automated, ang mga tao mas makakapag-focus sa mga strategies. Ang mga tao mas makakapag-focus sa task nila. So things that can be done by machines with intelligence of the people put into it, mas magiging efficient yung services natin, mas magiging precise yung mga products na ilalabas natin and services that we can also provide. Next, please. So ito po, siguro, I was supposed to make this as a game. Kaya lang, hindi ako familiar kung sa time pala, hindi ako sa time dati. So it's just now that last days ago na nalaman ko na ako pala lang the whole period. So hindi ko na siya nagawa ng game. But basically, you can use the chat box kung ano ba itong nasa kabila. Ano ba itong nasa upper left portion ng screen. These are examples of AI and IoT. Siguro kung familiar kayo sa number 1, ano ba itong nasa left side? Anyone? You can use the chat box kung familiar kayo. Sir, can you please proceed to the next slide? Ayan. Wala palang next slide. Sige, go up po pala. Ayan. Sige, go up po tayo. Isa pa po. Hindi po, doon sa balik tayo sa slide na may logo. Yes, the first one, Miss Catherine, is Siri. Yes, tama po siya. Siri po yan. The other one, dito sa side, nasa right side natin sa upper portion is may mga issues din yan. Pasahero na lang po tayo dyan. Hindi na natin kailangan ng physical driver. So ito yung Tesla car. Yan. So ito na po yung upo ka lang sa likod. You tell the system where to go. Ang destination ko ay sa Boracay. Di pala pwede. Pwede siya lumipad. Now, we are fina-follow ko yung dati kung makakalipad na ba yung mga kotse. So, I'm waiting kung may possibility na makalipad yung mga kotse. So, possible na sabihin ko sa car na ito na bring me to Boracay. Diba? Kaya lang, ang dami mga security issues. Meron ding issue dito na nakabangga ng tao. Basically, kasi nakaprogram siya ano yung ipaprioritize. Diba? Kung makakabangga ka ba ng sasakyan or makakabangga ka ba ng tao and so on. So, this is Tesla. The other one on the left side, sa baba, is Cortana. And this one is the symbol for yung ating mga Fitbit. Diba? Kung gumagamit tayo noon, may mga watch tayo na tinitingnan yung ating mga health activities, nire-record niya and ina-analyze niya how much calories ang na-burn mo, how much ang kailangan mo pang i-burn, kung ito yung desired weight mo, and kung healthy ba yung mga kinakain mo according to what you input and so on. So, yan yung mga examples natin na IoT and AI combined. Diba? Si Siri medyo marami application. Hindi ko tanda kung si Yasi Pressman ba ay si Alexa kay Yasi Pressman. Yung sabi niya ay privacy. Alexa, privacy. Parang bababa yung magda-darken yung bahay niya. So, may mga ganun bagay tayo which brings us comfort, which brings us efficiency sa ating mga ginagawa. Okay? So, next po tayo is yung automation natin, gusto ko lang pong i-emphasize here that the increase in the use of automation to improve the customer experience and build contactless services. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun, especially now na may pandemic tayo? Less dapat yung contact natin. Kaya kami when we go to work, ang lagi namin sa phone na lang. Dati kasi maglalagin ka sa logbook, magbabiometrics ka, yung gagamitin yung finger scanner to recognize. So ngayon, you just have to take a picture of yourself, automatically malalaman na ng system saan ka nag-in, sa bahay ba o sa work. So may mga ganung bagay and then it automatically computes everything. So ino-automate na. Binabawasan na natin yung contact kasi nga syempre when we touch something, pwede nating ipasa yung virus. So ganun na yung mga design ngayon ng mga applications and systems. Okay? So next po is 5G. 5G na ba sa San Pablo? Meron tayong website. Meron akong chinecheck na website kung ano yung mga 5G areas. So, available siya sa internet. Smart provides the link kung nasaan yung mga 5G areas. And ganun din ang Globe. And ang dito, nag-establish pa lang sila ng areas for 5G. Napakalaki ng possibility na dala ng 5G. Kasi syempre, faster internet connection, lower cost, and then mas marami siyang ino-open na capability and capacity. Okay? So, next po tayo. Ito yun, I would just like to inform everyone, I searched it on the internet. So, about 1/3 of our businesses see 5G as critical for digitization because maraming impacts or benefits that it provides like real-time data transfer. Of course, it enables more power for our digital applications. Hindi na masyadong maghahang yan. Mas maraming capacity yan. And it can improve our digital experiences. And of course, it can help us earn more revenue, more income to the business natin. So next, so hindi naman to sa Philippines, but because of 5G, yan, nakapag-enable ng eye surgery sa isang country. Not in the Philippines yet. Actually, nag-search ako kung nakapag-provide na nito ang ilan sa mga magagaling nating ospital. Nasa process pa lang sila ng analysis for that and test pa lang. Siguro soon, we'll have that 5G-enabled surgery. Next. Also better access to education if we have 5G, lalo na yung mga may mga equipped din robotics. Next po. So this is also another good news for everybody. PLDT, marami ding graduates ng ICT and engineering who works with PLDT. So it's one big telecommunication company in the Philippines. Usually we partner with them po para sa aming mga connectivity projects. So PLDT ramps up 5G capacities or capabilities in the Philippines through Cisco. Yung Cisco is an international company known for networking, tsaka po sa technology din. So basically, baka maging 5G na ang buong Pilipinas in the coming years. Okay? So the next one is the data analytics. Na-mention ko kanina, I've given emphasis on the benefits of data analytics. Next, please. So sabi nila, which I agree, data is the new oil. So mahal ang oil. Diba? Data is the new gold. I agree also. What we have to do here is, yung mga data analyst natin, bawat company ngayon, halos nag-hire na sila ng mga data analyst. Wherein, yung data, ina-extract nila from the daily operations. Ina-extract nila from the inputs. And then, they create value for it. So sabi dito, the value is created when data is gathered completely and accurately and connected to other relevant data done in a timely manner. Even sa HR, meron mga pool of candidates. For example, ang dami nag-apply, 100. With the system, with the analytics capacity, magsa-search lang ako, sino dito ang graduate ng ganitong university or graduate ng ganitong course with 2 years experience, with experience in software design. So, na-extra ko na. Matitrim down na siya sa 5. So, yun yung one simplest example of analytics applied din sa field din ng HR. But basically, we can do whatever we want sa data. Pwede tayo maglaro sa data. Like, for example, di ba ginagamit din yan ng mga restaurants? Ano mga buwan ang mabenta? And how many customers usually ang pumupunta? Nagkakaroon tayo ng analysis. Therefore, kung kaya ng staff natin, hindi na tayo magdadagdag. Basically, kung mapapansin niyo sa mga supermarkets, sa mga Starbucks, nagdadagdag sila ng tao every December kasi alam nila dumadami yung tao. Based sa data, madami ang sales, maraming bumibili ng panregalo. Therefore, dinadamihan nila ang stocks. Nag-a-add sila ng additional personnel, nagpo-provide sila ng promo, and so on. Yung stickers nila, they've been doing that for quite some time because nakikita nilang effective yon, nakakapagdagdag ng sales. So, data-driven yung mga decisions nila. May mga basis. Okay? So, next, ito yung mga examples din ng applications natin ng analytics like for YouTube. Tinitingnan natin ilan ng viewers. Also, kung ano yung mga view ninyo videos, ano yung mga preferences ninyo. Dito din sa Twitter and also sa mga dating apps. If you have tried one, although I'm not encouraging the use of it, yung mga pagmamatch na mga preferences. Although there are really successful matches dyan, gumagamit sila ng analytics. Sino ang bagay kanino according to their qualifications, preferences, and so on. So, basically, analytics yan, ang mga ginagamit dyan to lessen the task of human and automate everything. Okay? So, let me present the last part ito ng first presentation ko, which is the successful digital transformation. The first one, next slide, is the AI application ng Domino's. Dito kasi, in-apply ng Domino's yung artificial intelligence via a 24/7 enabled chatbots. Actually, I've given here the key takeaways. Ano ba yung mga digital transformation that they have used that made their transformation successful. Okay? Sana lahat ng businesses merong conversational AI. Makakausap mo, they based on keywords, of course. Hindi naman siya yung tipong makakakwentuhan mo pag malungkot ka, but basically they based on keywords like ano yung order mo, how much yung budget mo, ano yung mga sizes, availability, and so on. Kasi yung tao, anytime, mas gusto nila yung may mga nakakausap na ganyan. Because aminin man natin o hindi, busy din yung mga staff nila. So, hindi tayo ma-accommodate ng lahat ng questions natin, hindi nila ma-accommodate. That's why they use chatbots. Okay? So, using a bot as part of the customer experience strategy increases the user satisfaction. Kasi 24/7 yung assistance nila. If you will also browse, aside sa chatbot implementation, loaded din ang Domino's dun sa kanilang customer experience because yung system nila is may capacity for you to mix and match the available pizza, yung mga orders nila, personalize din natin yung mga pizza natin and other orders natin. Okay? Next, please. The other one is the virtual reality in healthcare. What's good about it, the application of virtual reality and augmented reality is that it can interconnect processes and systems. So, ginagamit din ang virtual reality in simulations to understand problems. Ano ba yung simulations? Nagkikreate kayo ng series of steps and titingnan natin kung anong output in the end. Siyempre, sa medical field, napakadelikado nun kung itetest natin siya. But through VR, nakakapag-sample tayo. Tatanggalin ko ba yung kalahati ng puso? Mabubuhay ba siya? Ano ba yung itsura ng puso pag broken-hearted? So, nakikita natin doon, nasisimulate natin. Therefore, hindi na tayo nag-imagine what will happen because it's a matter of health, which is life and death. Okay? Ginagamit din ng VR for medical training. Also, in conferences, may mga magagaling na doctors abroad which is very costly if they go here in the Philippines. While operating someone, pwedeng nandun sila, nakabakay, nakatingin sa atin, guiding our doctors na expert din naman, but mas expert yung nasa ibang lugar. Okay? So, enhanced experience, mas ma-improve yung ating mga systems. Next. If nanonood kayo, or ng pandemic kasi, pinanood ko to, aside sa mga Korean series, The Good Doctor, si Fred, sa episode 9 nila, ginamit nila yung, actually sa abroad, ginagamit nito, simulation ng virtual reality. Meron kasi silang patient na may heart problem which mahirap i-explain. So, instead na conclude sila ng conclude, nag-test sila, nag-analyze sila, and then nag-test sila through VR. And then after nyan, sa kanila in-apply dun sa patient, which increased the pagiging successful nung operations or kung ano mang ginawa nila dun sa patient. So if you wanna watch this, sa episode 9, ang tingnan ninyo application ng VR sa ating healthcare. Next, please. So delivery by data via the DHL, ito yung mga counterpart ng JRS sa atin, yan, tsaka iba-ibang logistic services. So meron silang AQCC or the Advanced Quality Control Center, and meron din silang 24/7 by chatbots. I think LBC, meron din silang online tracking, pero wala silang chatbot. Ibig sabihin, nakikita mo the whereabouts or the status of your shipment, kung may ina-expect ka or may mga pinadala ka. Okay? So the key takeaways in their digital transformation is that they interpret the big data to make predictive analysis on deliveries. Kailan darating itong product na ito or itong shipment mo, depende sa dami na nagpadala, depende sa layo, depende sa situation ng lugar na pagdadalhan mo. Real-time issues, nasiraan, yung sasakyan, nagkaroon ng biglaang bagyo, therefore ma-adjust yung shipment date and delivery date. So, yun yung mga ginagamit nila. Therefore, ini-inform na rin nila yung customers of the real-time status. And also, napaka-importante nito sa customer experience is that provision of the real-time information of the whereabouts of the parcel. Nasaan na yung item ko? Kasi sa Lazada, meron din naman tracking. Pero minsan nagugulat na lang ako, nasa pintuan ko na pala si kuya. Hindi ko pa nahahanda yung pera ko. Medyo hindi real time. Hindi ko alam if it is, actually it's manual. Manual yung pag-update nila sa Lazada and sa Shopee. Unlike this one, merong mga QR codes din, yung mga packages nila para may tracking din tayo for the whereabouts of the parcels or ng ating mga shipment. So that's one thing na improvement ng DHL. Next. IKEA. I haven't been sa IKEA sa Manila, but one of these days I plan to go there. So, malaki din ang improvement niya, considering na matagal na itong furniture na store na ito. So, it's smart home industry and devices wherein they have an app, VR and AR, na ipi-place mo yung mga nabibili mo or bibiliin mo, plan to buy na mga furniture. Diba? If it fits your home or not. Kasi usually pupunta tayo sa isang furniture shop, i-imaginein lang natin, bagay ba ito sa bahay ko? Anong bagay na kulay ng sofa, na cabinet, where to place this, and so on. With the provided app, we can visualize. Hindi na natin kailangan mag-imagine, mag-visualize na natin how it really looks sa ating mga lugar or bahay na paglalagyan. Also, usually ang mga tindahan, hanggang gabi lang. Ito, we have, the IKEA have a 24/7 digital store. Yung mga night person, yan, pwede kayo mag-browse pag hindi kayo makatulog sa gabi. You can browse, you can purchase online. And also, yung data-driven process nila. Ano ba yung gusto ng mga tao? Ano yung usually sinesearch nila? Sofa ba? Kama ba? Mga gamit ba? Anong kulay? And so on. So, ginagamit nila yon for decision-making, what to sell, and yung mga inclination nila at preferences ng mga customers nila, inilalagay din nila doon. Okay, that's IKEA. Next, yan. I think that's the last part, what I would like to tell for this first part is it's not a freaking
Kayo mali na
technology.
ganun.
It's
So yung sa 10S, isang bilog na ganun.
it's a faith in people. So whatever the technology is, anumang proseso i-apply natin, we have to consider people. Sila pa rin yung biggest asset of the organization. Therefore, kailangan mag-invest tayo sa people. And tayo as individuals, as students, as future workers, sa atin nakasalalay yung successful digital transformation ng mga companies. Tayo magre-recommend, tayo ang mag-iisip ng mga innovations, tayo magpo-provide. Therefore, kailangan i-equip natin ang ating mga sarili with proper knowledge, skills, also attitude. So that ends the first presentation. Ma'am Ira? Siguro yung second presentation, we can opt for a bio break. Tama ba, Miss Ira? Sir Vince?
Hello po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Ilang minutes po, ma'am, pwede tayong mag-ano po?
Okay lang po. Kayo po, 5-minute break, will that be enough?
Okay po.
Opo,
10 minutes po, okay lang po.
Okay lang po. Sige po.
Ayun po.
we
So,
can
ayun,
proceed.
senior high school will be having a 10-minute break,
Bye,
health
break.
break, and then we will continue on the second part of the presentation of Dr. Bukan.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Good morning, sir. Good morning again, everyone. I'm back na po.
Hello po, Doc.
Yes po. So, good morning again to each and everyone. Hopefully with the presentation or discussion I've provided, medyo na-refresh tayo with what digital transformation is, how it applies to different businesses, organizations now. So, the second part of my presentation is how we do the digital transformation and how we contribute to the country's digital transformation. So, on the DICT side po. But before that po, I would like Sir Vince to kindly play the video presentation before I proceed with the PowerPoint. Thank you.
In the Intelligent World 2030, digital government adapts to people's livelihoods. A dynamic and multi-dimensional labor force, blending human insight with robotics, AI, and more, becomes a key factor in production. People's focus shifts beyond material wealth, and digital means achieve digital equity and fairness, as well as taking control of the metabolism, the very health of the earth. New connectivity, new computing, new platform, new ecosystem. These build the foundation of the Intelligent World 2030. New connectivity, 5G-based communications technologies enable ubiquitous connectivity and all-domain perception. New computing, from silicon computing to optical computing and quantum computing, from all-flash to DNA storage. An open computing ecosystem enables pervasive intelligence. New platform, the ongoing accumulation of industry experience into a converged digital platform, which can be inherited, ultimately enabling digital innovation in all industries. New ecosystem. The SAPO-based collaborative ecosystem provides more comprehensive customer-oriented commercial solutions. Welcome to the Intelligent World 2030, intelligent, green, and resolutely people-oriented.
Thank you very much for sharing the video, sir. Actually, napakaganda ng video and napaka-high-tech. Hopefully, makasabay ang Philippines with digital transformation, same with other countries. So, yun yung vision natin for our country. Medyo high-tech din yun, pero at some point, nakakasabay na rin naman po tayo dito sa ating bansa. So, siguro po, can we share the slide ng part 2 presentation? Yan. So, siguro po, let me present the digital transformation in the new normal and beyond sa part po ng DICT and how we contribute to this. The DICT being the primary policy, planning, coordinating, implementing, and administrative entity of the executive branch of the government. So kami po yung naatasan to plan, develop, and promote the National ICT Development Agenda based on the Republic Act 1084-4. So malaki po ang responsibility ng DICT in terms of digital transformation. However, we need to work with other government agencies, other organizations to achieve this goal. Okay? So yung COVID-19 pandemic, I think, changed the way we do things. I hope you agree with that. So the way we work, the way we study, we do business, even the way we live our lives entirely has been really affected. Nagbago, change. Usually it's always change na nakikinig natin when we apply the concept of digital transformation. It also impacted and revolutionized how we interact among ourselves. Also, during that time, social distancing and other restrictions were implemented to control the spread of the virus. So the world looked to find safer alternatives to social interactions. And with that, they found the benefits of ICT. Doon natin nalaman na, maya apply pala natin ng ICT. Basically to cope up with the pandemic and pagbangon mula sa pandemic na ito. So next slide, please. So maraming applications po ang IT and ICT in different aspects of our lives, but let me just highlight its application in governance and in education. Okay, so IT empowers the government in the delivery of public service. So before, pipila ka sa GSIS, SSS, ganun kahaba. Okay, but because of IT or ICT, there is now a more efficient and convenient public service through automation of government public services online. So NBI, we set appointment online, tapos payment online. Then what we have to do is go there physically and have our photos taken. Kung wala tayong hit, within that day, we can get our clearance. So also sa SSS, GSIS, and other contributions, pwede natin makita yung ating mga contributions and transactions online. And among others, napakarami pong na-automate na natin ngayon. Also, we have to ensure the continuity of government services with minimal or no physical contact at all. Despite the pandemic, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang mga government services. Therefore, meron na tayo mga virtual systems or mga virtual checking of our accounts, name it, GSIS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, pwede na po natin siyang ma-check online. And also, through IT or ICT, there is an increased government accountability and transparency through automation and improved data management. So, the ICT, one of the agencies along with DILG, DOH, kung familiar po kayo with VaxCert-PH, yun pong nag-generate ng vaccination certificates natin. So, isa po yun sa mga programs natin. So, kaya lang po, nagsisimula po kasi yun sa LGU and DOH. Pag nakapagpa-vaccine na tayo, sila yung mag-i-input ng record doon so that we can generate our vaccination certificate sa VaxCert-PH. And also, meron din po sa mga city hall, kung meron mga negosyo ang mga parents ninyo or kamag-anak ninyo, meron po tayong tinatawag na IBPLS or Integrated Business Permit and Licensing System. So, ipinopromote po niya ang transparency and efficiency sa services kung saan nakakapag-acquire ang different businesses ng kanilang permits na naka-systemize at saka automated. And kita din yung mga sales nila, therefore promoting transparency. The next role that I would like to highlight is the role of IT in education. So, technology is a silver lining of our educational system. Again, when pandemic hit, paano na mag-aaral yung mga bata? Paano na yung operations? Paano na yung mga trabaho? Diba? Suddenly, the world stopped. So because of the technology, the continuity of teaching and learning has been ensured. Nagkaroon lang ng konting delay as planning lang ang mga educational institutions, but basically because of the technology, the Zoom, the internet, Google Meet, and so on, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, na iraos po natin yung pagtuturo natin at natuto pa rin ng mga bata. Okay? We were able to equip students for their future careers. So, napakaraming portal online where we can learn. ResearchGate, napakadami pwede tayong mag-research doon, okay? Through IT din po, it drives down the cost in the long run and brings more learning opportunities. In fact, in the future, though, importante pa rin po na may physical book. Mas nakakatipid na tayo ngayon because there are legal PDFs and we have the World Wide Web where we can search everything. Kailangan lang marunong tayong mag-screen, which is a reliable source or not. Also, IT was able to boost teamwork and communication kahit virtually through our online platforms, kagaya po ng G Suite for education and other applications na pwede tayong mag-collaborate online. Maraming applications like sa klase, para mas maging interactive, we use yung mga Kahoots, we use Mentimeter, marami pang collaborative softwares available which is possible through the technology and through the internet. So ganun po kalaki ang impact ng ICT sa governance and education. And usually, mga empleyado, IT-related graduates, ang nagpapatakbo po niyan. Tinetrain po natin sila yung nag-a-analyze ng mga how the system should run, ano ba yung mga pangangailangan ng users, and ano yung magiging itsura ng mga systems and platforms applicable for it. Next po. So ICT is really the game changer. So it maximizes the full value of digital transformation and also the need to prepare our country for the digital economy. So kailangan talaga natin ng ICT sa ating mga operations as part of the digital transformation. Next, please. So ano po ba yung DICT? Ipapakilala ko lang po sa inyo yung DICT. Last week, we celebrated our 6th year anniversary. The ICT, as mentioned, by virtue of the RA 1084-4, is the branch of government that promotes, develops, and regulates strategic information and communications technology and reliable systems and cost-efficient communication and facilities and services. So, ang mission po namin is to provide an innovative, of course, there is the word innovation, safe, and happy nation that thrives through and is enabled by ICT. So we in the ICT aspires for the Philippines to develop and flourish through innovation and constant development of ICT in pursuit of a progressive, safe, secured, contented, and happy Filipino nation. If you will get it from the words, progressive. So tuloy-tuloy lang po. We won't stop in improving the services. So the mission is to provide every Filipino access to ICT infrastructure and services. So yun po ang short information about the ICT. Next, please. So these are the legal basis in policy and planning. Siguro I won't go with this one by one, but basically as I go with the discussion and present our programs and the careers related to it, marirealize po natin ano ba itong mga basis na ito and paano namin siya ginamit for the programs and projects that we implement. Next, please. So let me begin with the digital readiness for the new normal. Just last year, ang DICT po ay nag-launch ng CHIP framework. Yung CHIP framework po natin is connect, harness, innovate, and protect. Okay? So basically, ito po yung ini-aim ng ating CHIP conceptual framework where we want to build the digital infrastructure foundation, where we want to invest in digital education, skills, and jobs, also expand digital government and business services, and mitigate the risk in a digital economy. So next slide po. So ito pong connect, as I will discuss later, DICT prioritizes building the national ICT infrastructure, our mga connectivity yan, mga towers, mga Wi-Fi, government networks to support the digitization of the country's government, industries, and communities harnessed. Ibig sabihin po, the ICT would like to invest in digital education, in bringing more digital commerce and job opportunities to the Filipino workforce. Actually, kahit anong sector po tinatarget namin. And innovate, the ICT implements programs and projects that improve the delivery of government services through ICT innovation. Ito po yung mga systems na pinapa-implement namin sa mga LGUs, sa DOH, or kung saan man pong government agencies, basically to improve the services. And also the ICT aims to protect, mitigates risk in the digital economy by using technology and responsive policies, as well as by giving the people knowledge and tools to protect themselves. So let me go one by one with this framework and yung mga services na provide namin and the people behind it. Next po. For the Connect, as mentioned, build the digital infrastructure foundation. Ang mandate ng presidente natin is connect, connect, connect. I-connect natin ang mga government agencies, i-connect natin ang government agencies sa tao, tao sa tao, agencies to agencies, universities to universities, and so on. So meron pong program ng DICT which is the free Wi-Fi in public places and the government network. So basically, mga ECE po ang mga personnel namin dyan. Electronics and Communications Engineer, meron din pong Electronics Engineer, meron din pong mga Information Technology and Computer Science graduates. If I'm not sure if LSPU San Pablo po is part po doon sa aming merong free internet service. So ito po yung free Wi-Fi in public services. BSU, marami po sila niyan, where usually nilalagay namin siya sa lobby o sa public library, wherein pwedeng mag-connect ang mga estudyante, ang mga empleyado, especially those ones na walang connectivity sa bahay o sa area nila. So may mga gumagamit po kami dyan na mga iba-ibang klaseng technology like router. Meron din po kaming free Wi-Fi na nilalagay sa GIDA sites. Ito po yung geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas sa kasulok-sulukan po ng Polillo, Quezon. Meron din po kami na ilagay dyan na, ilalagay po dyan na connectivity. Just last May po, naglagay din po kami ng VSAT, very small aperture terminal na nakakapag-provide ng internet sa Villa Espina, sa Quezon. Ito po yung considered na GIDA. Usually pag GIDA, walang presence ng telecommunication. Ibig sabihin, walang signal o wala pang nakaka-penetrate doon na mga smart or globe and so on. Para naman lahat ng tao magkaroon ng access. And also, meron din po kami sa mga barangay centers and sa health centers, sa LGU. Lahat po ng pinupuntahan ng tao, halos nakakapag-provide po ang DICT. Kung anong technology, depende po sa area. Kung ano, minsan fiber, doon po sa areas na hindi possible ang fiber, VSAT. And nagpo-provide din kami ng tulong sa mga, dati po nung kasagsagan ng COVID, nakapag-provide kami ng connectivity sa mga ospital para yung mga nako-confine, makakonect sila sa mga loved ones nila. Also, nag-provide din po kami sa mga isolation facilities. And napakalaking tulong ng free internet doon sa mga public places. And usually, these are manned, set up by our engineers. Electronics and Communications Engineer and Electronics Engineer po namin ang mga naka-assign dyan. Meron din po kami mga towers that provide them connectivity or additional connectivity. Sa ngayon po, sa Calabarzon, meron po kami 5 towers na ginagamit din for connectivity. Aside po from the free Wi-Fi for all, meron din po kaming government network. Yung government network po natin, ito po yung fiber optic na connection or connectivity na kung saan ang nakakonect po dyan ay government agencies. So next slide please. So sa ngayon po, sa Calabarzon, meron po kaming 1,443 activated sites to date. Just last year, 473 yung na-provide namin connectivity, and just this year, 127 yung nakakonect namin. May naka-line up po kami for state universities and colleges in other public places for implementation po this year. So, ibig sabihin, mas maraming tao na magkakaroon ng access sa connectivity provided by DICT for free with the help of our free Wi-Fi for all engineers. Next po, yan. Meron din po kaming, ito po yung number of users natin na natulungan. So, almost 2 million for the year 2021. And ngayon po yung total users natin up to March only is 226,000. So, hoping to reach more users para po mas marami ang magkaroon ng access to the internet. If in case nagkakaroon ng problema sa internet, it's our engineers who support and go for the restoration of such. Next. Next slide po. As mentioned po, meron po kaming government network. Meron po tayong GovNet dito sa Batangas City. Connected po yung mga government agencies dito po sa may Kapitolyo. And now po, meron po kaming targeted for 2023, which is the government network in Metro Rizal and Calamba City. So, lahat naman po ng areas na targeted natin, it's just that a matter of budgeting and scheduling kasi medyo mahirap po mag-implement niyan. To mention po na mga engineers din po natin ang kasama para mag-establish niyan. And kasama din po yung mga engineers natin from the central office. Next slide, please. Still under the connect. So now po, tayo ay nasa harness. When we say harness, usually we go in improving the ICT capacity of individuals. Usually capacity development in the countryside. Meron po kaming program for the training ng mga teachers, non-teaching staff, learners or students, and different sectors. Not because you are already a senior, hindi ka na capable doon. Meron po kami mga specialized trainings for seniors, for women, for MSMEs, for PWDs, and so on, and women. So meron po kami dyan. The ICT is investing in digital education, skills, and promotes jobs. So lahat po ito is provided by the ICT for free. So next po. Next pa po. Actually po ito, the trainer usually comes from the ICT. Usually ICT graduates sila, knowledgeable in Python programming, in project management, in cybersecurity. At times, kumukuha din po kami ng mga trainers sa labas. Those are involved in freelancing, specialized din po sa mga other technical trainings. So basically, ICT related. Meron po kami tinatawag na ICT Literacy and Competency Development Bureau. Ito po yung sinabi ko na for digital education and digital workforce. So we provide trainings for free and we are happy to inform you that we are a CPD provider accredited para sa license sa ating LPT, Licensed Professional Teachers, and also sa ating mga license ECEs po natin. Lahat po yun again ay for free. Just look po doon sa aming Facebook accounts. Also, sa competency part namin, meron po tayong pinoprovide na ICT examinations and eligibility certification. Ito po yung ICT diagnostic exam. Usually po ito ay sa mga graduating college students and sa mga teachers po natin where we assess your programming capacity. Lahat po ito ay for free, pero once you pass the diagnostic exam, may hands-on examination po yun. Proficiency exam po ang tawag doon. May konting payment po siya. But basically, pag pinasa niyo po yun, it's an equivalent ng ating civil service eligibility. So, meron po mga nakakapasa na. And our team, umiikot po sila sa iba-ibang schools para makapag-provide po o makapag-conduct ng ICT diagnostic exam for free. So, meron din po tayong Digital Jobs PH, yung Digital Jobs PH. Meron po kaming, please po sa next slide. Meron po kami mga ongoing trainings dito. Also for free, that will prepare the attendees for an online job. Ito yung tinatawag naming OFW 2.0. Paki-next slide po. OFW 2.0 or yung isa pa po sir, online Filipino workers natin. Ibig sabihin, isa pa po sir, ibig sabihin po ay pag natapos niyo po yung mga courses na to, mai-increase po yung capacity ninyo na makapag-acquire online ng mga trabaho. Marami pong OFWs na nag-enroll dito and then they opted to continue na lang ito. Nakapag-earn sila ng mga trabaho online which they receive a decent income. May mga ongoing po tayo ngayon and may call for applications po kami for the coming months pa. So, meron kaming graphics design, social media marketing, general virtual assistants, e-commerce for professionals, and another general virtual assistant. So, meron po mga target for these provinces. Pwede naman po kayo mag-enroll sa ibang course. Kung qualified kayo, dadaan kayo sa screening process. This is around 21 days ng online training, usually 3 to 4 hours per day. Depende na sa inyong trainer. Online and meron tayong face-to-face, depende sa inyong option. But basically, we provide it for free. And then we monitor the sales made by each person. So, ang training po natin dyan, we partner with PAPSCO. And also, it is being manned by a DICT personnel. Usually po, IT-related talaga yung course nila. Para may idea sila dito. Sa graphics design, we use Canva. And dun sa iba, ginagamit nila iba-ibang software. Pwede po bang pa-up ng dalawa? Isa pa po, yan. So, for our ILCBB, marami na po kami na-provide na ICT specialized training. Also, ICT specialized training for non-teaching staff. ICT specialized training for ECE and students. Maybe one of these days, I can send invitations kay Sir Vince and kay Sir Toto para maka-attend po yung mga estudyante natin, especially now na magbabakasyon. Maraming time to attend and upskill ourselves. Next po. So ito po yung mga ongoing namin ngayon. Data privacy protection training for workforce. May Java coding bootcamp. Mayroon po kaming may CPD points and may review on programming basics for students and learners and always pong free ICT diagnostic examinations in all Calabarzon provinces and regional office. You just connect with us para sa preferred ninyong schedule. It's a way to gauge your capacity. Kasi magpo-provide kami ng feedback after a month if you have passed or not, para at least may analysis tayo. And then, if sadly hindi pa rin nakapasa, pwede pong umattend ng review ng programming basics natin. Next po. Isa pa po. So, for harness pa rin, ibig sabihin, i-improve natin yung capacity ng tao. Meron po tayong Tech for Ed. Ito po yung mga centers natin where we give access sa mga underprivileged na tao. Na meron po kaming partnership with, for example, an LGU. And then we provide computer units na pwedeng gamitin ng mga tao. Usually po, ang nagiging client namin ngayon mga estudyante. Wala siyang computer, wala siyang connectivity, so pumupunta sila. Ni-utilize nila yung Tech for Ed centers natin. So far, to date, meron po tayong 506 Tech for Ed centers established in whole Calabarzon. What's good about it, pati po sa Bureau of Jail and Management, yan, Technology, meron po kami na put up na Tech for Ed centers. Kung makikita niyo po sa aming website, sa Facebook page namin, nakapag-provide kami ng computer units na pwedeng gamitin ng mga PDLs natin or yung persons deprived of liberty, kung saan po pwede pong mag-conduct ng e-dalaw, minsan teleconsultation. Nagpo-provide din po kami ng training sa kanila para when they leave the area, meron po silang pwedeng pagkakitaan at may dagdag kaalaman. So these are all for free. Yung ibang centers namin, ginagawa din po namin VaxCert booth. Doon po pwedeng mag-print ng libreng VaxCert certificate. So siguro you can visit one of the centers near you kung sakali mo magka-problema sa connectivity or sa device. Our Tech for Ed Center is open. And now po, ini-improve namin yung Tech for Ed centers namin. Ginagawa na namin din siyang digital hub kung saan yung mga gusto mag-freelancing, they can use our facility for free. So, yun po yung mga services na ina-offer ng DICT. Of course, the required skills doon of the one who mans the centers is may basic ICT skills siya, knows how to operate the computers, basically knows how to troubleshoot, and also marunong din ng mag-estima ng mga clients natin. So, tina-train din po namin ang mga nagbabantay sa aming tech-fed centers are known as center managers. Meron po kaming training na ipinoprovide sa kanila so that they can share also their learning sa ating mga clients. So that's our tech-fed center under the harness. Next po. So under harness pa rin is meron tayong tinatawag na digital cities. So I'm happy kasama po dito sa Laguna cluster ang San Pablo. Kasama din po ang Batangas City, Metro Cavite, Metro Rizal. Ano po ba yung ginagawa namin dyan sa digital cities? Actually, tinutulungan po namin ang mga LGUs para sa kanilang digital transformation. So, meron po tayong iba-ibang series of workshops para i-prepare sila, i-assess ano ang skills, ano ang attributes, ano ang magandang qualification at i-promote sa center or sa kanilang LGU para po ating makita at may tulungan sila sa kanilang digital transformation. So, pinopromote din po natin ang mga cities na yon. So, it's good na kasama po sa first 25 digital cities ang ating lugar, which is the Laguna and Batangas City. Next po. So, under Innovate, this is the expanding the digital government and business services. So usually meron po kami ditong tinatawag na ILGU, formerly IBPLS siya, Integrated Business Permit and Licensing System. Meron din po kaming iba-ibang systems na ipinapa-utilize sa different agencies or governments para po dyan sa ating digital transformation. Part din po dito is may mga universities po na nagpapatulong sa amin sa paggagawa nila, pagkakras nila ng kanilang ICT roadmap. Just last May, tinulungan naman po namin ang Quezon Province, yung Candelaria, Quezon, para sa pagpe-prepare nila ng kanilang ICT roadmap. Also, ang CAVSU, ayan, may nag-submit din po sila sa amin ng ICT roadmap for our review and endorsement to our DICT Central. So basically, improvement po ng kanilang digitization. So next po. So for the digital government, so meron po tayong na-mention ko po, IBPLS na po siya ngayon. This is a central business portal, aims to simplify, streamline, and to make the business registration process more accessible through an automated online platform. Usually, we hire ICT graduates na mag-train nito or mag-handle ng IBPLS systems namin. So, sila po, in partnership with LGU, with the willingness of LGU, is ititrain nila yung mga personnel ng LGU, MIS ng LGU, Treasury, and so on, BPLO, para po sa paggamit and implement ng system na ito. So usually, it takes months para ma-fully implement ang system. But basically, we hire someone na mayroong programming background, may capacity for system analysis and system design and basic programming para in case may mga questions sa system, may mga queries, kayang sagutin ng ating personnel. Okay? Yung EBPLS po natin, it enables the LGUs to process applications for new and renewal of business permits electronically, ensuring an online enabling environment for citizens and business to flourish. Para po mas mapabilis na yung pag-acquire ng business permit na mga licenses natin. So, someone who has background in programming and system analysis po ang piniprefer namin for that area. Next po. So, meron din po tayo sa Innovate na Digital Startup Development and Acceleration Program. Meron po tayong mga kinundak. I think I've invited Sir Toto para dito po sa ating Philippine Startup Challenge or Philippine Startup conference where pinupush po natin na mas maging innovative ang ating mga estudyante, ang ating mga business owners, any individuals na magkaroon ng innovative idea at makapag-propose sila, makapag-pitch sila. So basically to improve things and through the use of computer programs and different applications in improving processes. Next po. So ito yung mga na-conduct na namin for the Philippine Startup Challenge. May nagkaroon po kami ng bootcamp, startup conference, bootcamp 102 and the startup 101. Meron po kaming upcoming, will not forget the LSPU para i-invite po nila. So basically, magkakaroon tayo ng idea what startup is, what innovation is, paano natin siya i-apply sa all aspects ng ating buhay and how tayo magiging innovative. So meron kami mga speakers din. We have invited speakers and our DICT-owned ICT personnel po ang kasama din natin dyan. Next po. So under Protect, which is the last framework, is the framework that aims to mitigate the risk in a digital economy. So risk, when we talk about risk, napakadaming risk na pwede natin paghandaan. It is something that we have to prepare for. So meron po kaming cybersecurity management program and meron din po tayong government emergency communications systems. Usually, when we say cybersecurity, hindi lang naman siya limited to IT and CS graduates. In fact, ang mga ECE natin ngayon is cybersecurity inclined na. Anybody pwede namang maging cybersecurity inclined, marunong mag-provide ng security, mag-analyze ng mga possible threats and what can be done para maiwasan yung mga threats na yon. Next po, meron po kami ngayong series of seminars for students, for teachers, for LGUs. Napakarami po naming seminars about that, basically to provide a cyber-safe environment for everybody, especially now that cybercrime is on the rise. Maraming nahahack, maraming nasa-scam, even yung bank accounts na hahack din, nililipat kung saan man. Even sa election, ang daming alleged election fraud. So, may mga bagay tayong magagawa para harangan yung mga ganong risk. And we have to be informed and aware of those things para hindi po tayo maging victims of such. Meron din po kaming mga training programs aside sa webinar, training programs para dyan. And we also promote the use of PNPKI or yung Philippine National Public Key Infrastructure. Ito po yung, hindi siya yung normal na electronic signature natin, but this one, ito yung digital signature that can be verified. Na kanya talaga yun, hindi lang in-insert. So, usually may identification din yung machine doon at saka yung uniqueness ng signature ng isang tao. Ina-accept po yan sa different government agencies as valid na signature. So, one way of promoting na security na rin. So, as mentioned, sabi ko nga po, hindi lang naman siya limited sa IT or computer science graduate, even engineers na merong background and necessary training sa cybersecurity can be employed for such position. Next po. Under Protect pa rin, meron po tayong Vaccine Information Management System, yung VIMS natin, and DICT Vaccine Administration System or the DVAS. Ito po yung ginagamit ng mga LGUs and rural health units. So, halimbawa, tinurukan kayo, meron tayong pinifilapan na papel, tapos i-encode na nila sa system, and this system, connected din po siya sa mga inventory ng vials, inventory ng mga nakapagpaturok na, and statistics din, kung ilan ba yung hindi pa natuturukan per LGU or per province, and connected din po siya sa generation natin ng vaccination certificates. And lastly, meron po tayong DRRM or yung Disaster Risk Reduction Management. Nandito po sa aming office sa labas, meron po tayong Jex Move Hub. Ito po yung malaking truck. Tapos sa likod niya may motor. Tapos meron din po kaming isa pang sasakyan, dispatch. Pag po may mga disaster, dinadala po namin yan. Ang laman po ng hub natin ay ICT equipment. Controlled po yan ng mga engineers natin. Also ECE and electronics engineer ang nagmaman po niyan. Pag open po natin ng hub namin na malaki, meron po yung tulugan sa loob, meron po yung mga radyo, meron din po yung mga laptops and cellphone units na dinadala po namin sa ground zero or sa area kung saan may disaster para kung kailangan po ng connectivity ng mga tao, tatawagan yung mga mag-anak, we are safe, we are ganyan-ganyan, pwede po nilang gamitin. And sa areas na hindi masyadong mapasok, andun po yung motor namin. And sa areas na ang kasya lang naman ay mga normal vehicles, meron po kaming dispatch dyan. So aside from radios, meron po kaming, yan pong aming truck na yan, meron siyang VSAT. Ibig sabihin ng VSAT parang satellite that gets signal para magkaroon po tayo ng connectivity. May satellite phone po sila, may satellite phone po yan. Actually po, yung satellite phone, napaka-useful po niya nung Odette. Kasi dati handle po namin ng Palawan. So, nung bagsak ang mga telecom, walang smart, walang PLDT, walang globe, sat phones po yung ginagamit pagtawag sa mga kamag-anak kakilala. Medyo mahal lang po, pero it's provided by your DICT for free. Kung napanood niyo yung Jurassic Park, may sat phone po doon na ginamit. Kung saan nandun yung mga dinosaur, ginamit yung pantawag. And meron din po kaming mga microtik, LHG, LTE, meron po kaming generator set, and meron po kaming LTE router with SIM na pinaprovide po namin para magkaroon ng internet access doon po sa mga areas stricken by calamity. And our personnel, sabi ko nga po, are trained na iman yan, gamitin. And to mention po, meron din po yung drone na kasama para basically to check the areas na hindi abot ng sasakyan para makapag-surveillance po sila doon. So basically, electronics engineer and ECE po ang nagmaman yan, lalo na yung mga marunong din mag-drive. So yan po yung under protect natin, VIMS and yung aming JEX, Government Emergency Communication System po ang ibig sabihin yan. So siguro if we can set, I don't know if allowed na yun. May mga tumitingin-tingin po dyan ng mga hub namin. Kasi napakaganda niyan, napakaganda at malaking tulong po yan sa pag meron tayong disaster. So ang mga tao po namin hindi lang talaga ICT related but trained din po sila to respond during calamities. So ready po sila to provide assistance sa mga tao. Okay? Next po. I think we're down to last two slides. So to sum up, ito po yung powers and functions ng DICT. Of course, policy and planning, improve public access via our free Wi-Fi and GovNet, resource sharing and capacity building. Kasama na po dyan yung ating mga Tech for Ed centers. Kasama na po dyan yung mga trainings for digital workforce, digital education, and other sectors. Consumer protection and industry development. Kasama na po dyan yung ating mga startup programs. Kasama na din po dyan yung mga systems na pinaprovide namin sa mga agencies like IDPLS, VIMS, DIVAS. Also, another power and function of DICT is the cybersecurity policy and program coordination and the countryside development. Next po. So I think down na po ako sa last slide. Gusto ko lang pong sabihin na career prospects in ICT and telecommunications are excellent. With the digital transformation, opportunities are always being created in this dynamic and growing field. To say that almost all IT jobs depend on technical knowledge. So ICT and telecom jobs depend on strong technical knowledge. That means we have to equip ourselves and wag lang po tayong aasa from what we are learning from the four walls of the classroom, research, aside from research, actual exposure, and actually, sabi ko nga po, career prospects are excellent, napakadaming klaseng career, and each has a different emphasis from our presentation, whether job centers on coding, managing hardware, managing telecommunications, equipment, applying software, applying data science or analytics, and managing systems or people. Kailangan lang po talaga ng strong technical knowledge, and nasa sa atin po yun. Ako, although I continuously study, iba pa rin po yung ma-acquire man trainings kapag ikaw ay nagkaroon ng actual exposure sa trabaho, and continuously dapat nag-aaral tayo, nag-a-attend tayo ng mga seminars na makakapag-add to our knowledge. And siguro before I end, let me just tell everyone that 2020, this June, ito pong June is the National ICT Month, where our team is spark, strengthen, and sustain. And let's continue in advancing the digital PH or the PH digital agenda. You can, sa next slide po, ipopromote ko po yung aming FB page. You can follow us at DICT4A, R4A. Meron din pong Facebook pages ang bawat province namin. DICT Region 4A, Batangas, Quezon, Rizal, Cavite, and Laguna para po sa ating mga activities, all for free. And then we have our YouTube page or channel. Nandun po yung aming mga recordings. And also, if you have concerns, you can email us at region4a@dict.gov.ph. Last month po, nagkaroon kami ng engagement with LSPU Siniloan. Hopefully, this coming month with LSPU San Pablo, where we provide din po yung mga internship opportunities for faculty, for students, and other ICT opportunities for everyone. So, that's all. Kung meron po kayong mga questions, so we can now open the floor. Thank you very much po for listening and hoping natuto po tayong lahat. Thank you po.
Thank you very much. Once again, students, we have the Chief of the Technical Operations Division, the ICT, Dr. Maria Graciela Bu. So students, once again, like I mentioned earlier at the start of this program, of this webinar, magkakaroon tayo ng open forum where you will be able to raise your questions or anything you would like to ask to our speaker. I'm very sure that Dr. Grace will be very happy to entertain your questions regarding the topic that was discussed today. So we had a very comprehensive and a very fruitful discussion. So we hope that there are students who will be raising their questions, anything they would like to clarify to ma'am. Now, if you have one, you may do so by raising your hands dito po sa ating feature sa Zoom. I'm sure you see that naman. So if you have any questions, you may start raising your virtual hands. Or if you don't feel like speaking talaga, you may raise your questions via the chat box. So sige, the virtual floor is now open for everyone. Anyone who would like to ask their questions? Kindly raise your hand, your virtual hand, or you may send your question through chat. Anyone, any student from the ABM, UMS, STEM, or TVL strand? Anything you wish to clarify? Or baka may mga gusto pa kayong information na madagdag sa mga nabanggit ni ma'am kanina? Any questions, students? Kung nahihiyang mag-open ng mag-raise ng virtual hand, pwede kayong mag-chat na lamang.
Ma'am, if ever, siguro nahihiya pa ngayon or nagko-compose pa, yan, pwede naman po akong i-message via my Facebook account. I'm very free. I would be very happy to provide clarifications.
Ayun. Students, you heard ma'am, if you have any questions daw, pinabanggit ni ma'am, she will be very happy to entertain your questions on the page or the email. Pero baka may gustong mag-ask ngayon, pwede pa naman, meron pa naman tayong time. Ayan, nag-send si ma'am ng kanyang FB account. So students, if you wish to ask questions na mga hindi ninyo matatanong, ngayon pwede nyo i-message si ma'am on her FB account, or also you may send your questions via Region 4A at dict.gov.ph. Ayan, okay, so we have our first question. This one is from Axel Martinez from TVL Strand. Sige, so for the question, not on the program related po, pero may I ask po kung ano pong mas magandang piliin between IT and ComSci? Ma'am?
Yes, thank you for that question. I am a computer science graduate and my master's is computer science. Then if you are really inclined sa programming rather than design and network structure, so I suggest you go for BS Computer Science. So mas deeper ang programming ng computer science as compared mo sa IT. So it's just a suggestion, but you have to gauge yourself. You have to gauge then your interest. Kung talagang deep programming ka ba, then go for computer science. But if you are more of utilization of different ICT tools, networking, you go for information technology. But basically, both are very highly employable. Napaka-in-demand nila sa lahat ng mga organizations as they need computer-related personnel to work for them. I hope I gave justice to your question. Na-clarify ko naman sana ang question mo. Thank you.
Thank you po, Ma'am Grace. So I hope the question was answered by Ma'am for our first question sent by Axel. Now I have another direct message here, anonymously sent. So ano po ba ang mga trending careers in ICT as of the moment po? Trending careers daw po, Ma'am.
Napakadami. Actually, data analyst, network engineer, software engineer, programmer, computer maintenance technologist. So those are the top ICT-related jobs. But basically, talaga ngayon, analyst yung mga hinahanap. And then I have students na talagang employed sila sa Accenture, as analyst then and as a software engineer. So basically, based on our study, yun talaga yung mga in-demand. And also to highlight, it gives decent income. Malaki-laki yung pay pag mga gano'n na mga position.
Okay, thank you very much po, Ma'am. So that's the answer daw po for the trending careers. If any of the students, hindi lamang ito para sa hindi lamang para sa mga TVL students. Siguro may iba dyan na sa ngayon, nako-confuse pa or baka may gustong biglang biglang mag-stray away sa kanilang mga current strand. O ayun, yung mga binanggit ni Ma'am. Ito din sinisend ni Ma'am through chat, ano yung mga trending na mga career ngayon in terms of ICT. Another anonymous question po sent here. Any idea po about the salary po of the analysts?
Based on experience, kasi syempre meron kami mga graduates and nagpapasagot kami ng graduate tracer and then we ask for the salary. Usually nag-range to 30 to 40 bilang yun ay initial entry. Manila based yun, but dito sa atin, sa province, siguro around 20 to 30. yung mga sweldo nila. But basically ako, before I reach what I'm earning now, nagsimula talaga po ako after graduation, or after graduating from college, sa pinaka-basic, which before yata is 12,000 lang. So, talaga ngayon, malaki na yung pay, salary ng mga data analyst, mga software engineers natin. In fact, one of those that I know, nag-earn sila ng 60K a month, even though work from home sila. So, kung magsa-search kayo over the internet, isa sa highest paying job is itong ang data analyst at saka software engineer.
Thank you very much po ulit, Ma'am Grace. I have another question po. This one is sent naman po by one of our faculty members. Pwede po bang mag-take ng master sa data analytics kahit na siya ay isang education graduate?
Actually, ma'am, it depends on the school. But basically, yung mga nagpaparecommend sa akin is nagkakaroon sila ng bridging. Kung hindi sila IT-related or ICT-related ang course, may bridging subjects or bridging courses before sila makapag-take mismo ng masters na related sa analytics. So siguro 2 to 3 subjects, pero it depends doon sa school na papasukan nila.
Okay po. Thank you po, ma'am. I hope the question was answered po. Sana po ay nakuha ng ating faculty member ang hinahanap na sagot. Sige, any other questions that would like to be raised from students or even our faculty members who are currently here on our webinar po? Again, students, we are not only we are not only focusing on the computer and telecommunication industry, not only specific for the ICT students, lahat naman ng mga strand ay naandito. So if you would like any idea on this field, this is the very reason why you are here, para ma-enlighten din kayo kung ano ba ang meron sa field ng telecoms. So I have another question here. Kung sa senior high school naman po, then papunta sa non-ICT related course sa college, meron pa rin po bang bridging?
If from senior, tapos po na non-ICT related, actually, ma'am, nakadepende din yan sa policy ng school where they will take their degree. So, nag-vary po yan. I think I'm no longer part of the academe, kaya hindi ko po talaga siya masasagot ng ganun. But based from experience, dati po nag-aalaw kami na non-IT, and then tinatanggap naman po namin sa university where I worked before. So I'm not in the best position to answer that question.
Thank you very much po, Ma'am Grace. And in addition din, dito sa question na ito, yes, I think reiterating the point of ma'am, ayun nga, it actually depends on the university in which you're going to apply. Kasi may ilan naman na pwede ka, halimbawa, ikaw ay ABM student, then gusto mong magpunta sa isang course na let's say psychology. Merong ilang mga universities na meron silang policy na pinapatupad na hindi pwede, pero meron din namang ilan na okay lang naman sa kanila. So it actually really depends on the university in which you aim to enroll for college. I'm not quite sure din, ayoko din magbitaw sa ngayon ng sa LSPU kasi hindi ko din sure sa OSAS if ever that will be if ever that will be accepted in LSPU if you wanted to apply for a course that is not really within the scope of your strand in senior high school. I hope your question was answered ulit, Axel. Thank you. Another question? Yes po, Sir Aliazas.
Reminding lang din po, ma'am, yung ating students na baka kasi nabubulag sila or namamangha sila dun sa salary. So, syempre, yung career natin, it depends pa din dun sa capabilities at skills ng ating mga students. At sa inyo na rin mismo, you need to reflect as well para tama din yung tatahakin ninyo on your career path. Baka kasi naiengganyo tayo pero hindi naman pala ito yung pinapakita ng skills natin. So, i-focus din natin sa kung saan tayo mas inclined at kung saan natin mas mamamaster yung ating mga talents. Students? Thank you po.
Thank you
Yes.
po, Sir Aliazas. Yes po, ma'am.
Opo, may I add lang po, no? Siguro this webinar series can help them better assess their capacities, their inclination, and hindi naman tayo right away kailangan mag-decide. Of course, we need to, with this age, we need to seek the assistance of our parents, our teachers, and also do some research. So, pwede tayo magtanong sa ating mga kapatid, sa mga alumni, and at some point, yes, medyo yung salary is nakaka-engganyo, nakaka-entice. But basically, sabi nga ni Sir, iba-ibang organizations, iba-iba kasi ang rate nila and iba-iba yung mga expectations nila sa mga employees natin. So, hindi ka agad, after graduation, hindi mo agad makukuha yung ganong salary. So, you have to work hard for it. You have to prove yourself. You have to equip yourself para at some point, after some years of working, meron ka na may papagmalaki. Therefore, pwede ka nang mag-demand or somehow mag-ask ng ganitong klaseng pay or salary. So, yun lang din naman yung gusto kong i-add sa point ni Sir Vince ata yun. Thank you po.
Thank you po, ma'am. Thank you po again, Sir Aliazas. So, sige, any other questions you would like to ask students from other strands? Baka may gusto kayong i-clarify, even those who are not from the TVL-ICT, and even our faculty members, baka may gusto pa pong itanong na questions. Okay. So, I suppose ay wala nang nagsisend ng kanilang mga questions through chat. Pero like we mentioned earlier and also as mentioned by Dr. Grace, if you have any questions that you fail to ask today or nahihiya pa or kinocompose pa ngayon yung mga questions ninyo, again, you may send your queries, your questions or concerns to our speaker on her Facebook account that was sent here on the chat box. And also you may direct your questions on the official email that was sent as well by our speaker. So sige, at this juncture, students, faculty members, and our guests, to extend our gratitude to our honorable speaker for this session, let me call on our faculty member from the Senior High School Department to present the Certificate of Appreciation. Ma'am Danica Del Mundo. Ma'am?
Thank you so much, Ms. Era. Hello, everyone. Allow me to read the Certificate of Appreciation for our guest speaker for today. Republic of the Philippines, Laguna State Polytechnic University, Province of Laguna, in collaboration with the Senior High School Unit and the Alumni Affairs and Placement Services, present this Certificate of Appreciation to Maria Graciela R. Bucad for serving as resource speaker during the webinar series on Work Immersion with the theme Work Immersion in the New Normal, Instilling Enthusiasm and Positivity in the Workplace During a Crisis Situation on June 17, 2022. Given on the 17th day of June 2022, Laguna State Polytechnic University, San Pablo City Campus, San Pablo City, Laguna. Signed by Joel M. Bawika, MIT, Campus Director of LSPU-SPCC.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Del Mundo. And once again, thank you very much to our first speaker for this session, Ma'am Maria Graciela R. Bucad of DIC.
Thank you very much for everyone. Ma'am Ira, Sir Vince, Ma'am Jenny, Sir Toto, and the university official. Si Dean kanina, thank you very much po. I hope some point na enlighten naman yung mga students natin on the ICT and telecom industry. So thank you very much again.
Thank you po, ma'am. And before we arrive at the end of the first session, to give us his closing remarks, ladies and gentlemen, let me present our faculty member from the Senior High School Department. Let's have Mr. Brian Ilaw. Sir?
A pleasant morning to everyone po. So we have reached the end of our episode 1 of our webinar series on Work Immersion. So pasasalamat po sa mga tao po dito. Thank you to all students, faculty, and LSPU officials who invested their precious time for this webinar, especially to our passionate speaker and dedicated speaker, Ms. Bukad, for her meaningful discussion and time na ma-accommodate po itong webinar series po, especially for our senior high school students, from her shared experiences, expertise, ideas about our topic, specifically to our to information communication technology related topics. I hope lahat po ng mga learnings dito ay nag-gain po natin dito ay ma-share po natin at ma-apply po natin sa ating mga buhay and journey and career we'll be having soon. So this webinar is indeed successful because of our your all efforts and participations. Again, thank you very much for your time, and we will see each other next week, June 24 at 8 a.m. to 12 noon for our episode 2 of our webinar series on Work Immersion. So again, thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Sir Ilaw. The purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. Thank you very much, grade 12 students, for participating on our first session of the webinar series for Work Immersion. And once again, thank you very much to our speaker for this first session, Dr. Maria Graciela Bukad of DIC. And this has been your host for this morning. I am Ma'am Ira Joyce Anchar, and thank you everyone for being here on our webinar. Thank you po, ma'am. Thank you, students.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Bye po.
Students, attendance ha, baka makalimutan. Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am. Salamat po.
Thank you po. Bye-bye po.